Right. Before we start with this chapter, I want actually have one more thing to do. Ready? The mumbo. That's right. Happy 27th birthday, Mumbo and Jumbo. All right. So let's now start off with the chapter. As time passed, Gina Sprague began to cover for Joseph Jackson whenever he wanted to visit his daughter. Even though the family knew about her, she didn't want to flaunt her, says Gina. Sometimes they could call and ask him, and even though he was with Giovanni and maybe even Cheryl, I would lie and say he was in a meeting or otherwise unavailable. This went on for months. Because Joseph and Gina seemed to share so many secrets, the word was out in his production company and they were having an affair. According to Gina, someone in the office began feeding misinformation to Catherine, who was already suspicious of all Joseph's female friends and still reeling from the shock of Cheryl and Giovanni. One day the phone rang, Gina picked it up. Good afternoon, Joseph Jackson Productions. I want you to quit your job, said a female voice. Do you hear me? Quit or we're coming to get you. What? Who is this? Gina asked, panicked. The caller hung up. Gina was upset. She went straight to Joseph and told him about the mysterious call. Oh, that's just nonsense, Joseph told her, barely glancing up from his paperwork. No one is coming after you, Gina. I promise you, you'll be fine. The next day, October 16th, 1980, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Gina was behind her desk in a reception area of Joseph Jackson Productions, 6255 Sunset Boulevard, Suite 1011. Nope, 1001, the same building in which Milton Records was housed. When Randy Jackson was then 18 entered, he then asked two other employees to leave the office so that he and Gina could be alone. The two employees did so they were told. Randy then also left for a moment and returned with Janet, 14, and with Katherine. A bitter argument about Gina's relationship with Joseph ensued. When, according to what Gina told police, matters got out of control and Katherine, Randy, and Janet pulled her into a stairwell and assaulted her. When Jim Kieran, a office security guard, heard screams, she ran to investigate and later said he observed Randy holding Gina against the wall while Catherine pummeled her with her purse. Upon seeing the guard, Janet hissed at him, "Leave, mister, this is a family affair." He left, as instructed by the 14-year-old. Catherine grabbed a gold medallion from Gina's neck. "This belongs to me," she said, "not you." When one of Diana Ross's brothers happened by, she asked, "Mother, what are you doing?" Many of her friends called Catherine Mother. "Go about your business. This is a family matter," she told him according to what he later recalled. He ran off stunned. The rest of the police report was graphic in its account of the violence Gina says took place that afternoon. Joseph was eating me with his door closed. When Gina came stumbling back into the office suite, she was crying. He ran out of his private office. "My God, what happened to you?" he asked her. Too upset to speak, Gina collapsed onto the floor. Police officers and an ambulance summoned by Jim Craig arrived on the scene. When medics lifted Gina to put her on a stretcher, she let out a piercing scream. Joseph leaned over and whispered urgently in Gina's ear, "Tell me, who did this to you? Was it some crazy fan?" "It was Catherine," Gina said through her tears, her voice lowered so as not to be heard by anyone but Joseph. Joseph's eyes widened. "But that can't be true," he whispered. "It is true, Joseph," Gina insisted. Gina's Sprague was taken to Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center, where she was treated for multiple cuts, bruises, and a minor head injury. Joseph did not visit her there. She was released the next day. Exhausted, she went to bed as soon as she got home. Just as she was about to doze off, she heard loud voices. As her friend refused to allow Joseph into the house, Gina got up and went to the door. "You could let him in," she said. Joseph looked worn out from the lack of sleep, sapped of his usual virtually. With some hesitation, Gina's friend left him alone. "Why, Joseph?" Gina asked him, according to her memory. "I can't just believe she would do that," Joseph said, putting his head on his hands. Gina had never seen him this way before. It was a shock. Still, she was furious with him. "You called the cops, didn't you? Now what's going to happen?" Joseph asked. "And you, of all people in my life, know how much I love my family. They're everything to me." Gina shook her head in astonishment. "I was trying to cover up for you so you could visit Giovanni, and this is what happened to me because of it," she said angrily. "Don't you even care about that?" "What I care about is family," Joseph repeated. He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. "I have worked so hard," he said, reaching out to the breast pocket of his jacket. Then, with a shaking hand, he pulled out an envelope and handed it to Gina. Inside, as Gina recalled it, there was a check for a large sum of money. "Take it," Joseph instructed. "It's yours." She gave him an incredulous look. "I don't want your money, Joseph," she said. She crumpled the check and threw it at him. "Leave my house," she demanded. "How dare you?" Thundering, Joseph walked out of the room, his head drooping. Gina slammed the door behind him. Michael was stunned by the way his mother, sister, and brother had supposedly attacked Gina. He could not reconcile such a violent act with the image of his beloved and gentle mother. He refused to believe it and insists to this day that it never happened. Most of the family, though, knows that Catherine had reached her limit. Physically, Joseph was in love with that girl, Gina, recalled Timaya, and my aunt didn't like it and wanted to stop. She became extremely upset and went to the office to see Gina. After so many years, Kate had just reached her breaking point. You can only push a person so far. Gina decided not to press charges against the Jacksons. She says that her attorney told her not to bother, because those rich people will never be going to jail and you'll be wasting your time trying to put them there. Instead, she filed a $21 million civil lawsuit against Catherine, Janet, and Randy. Catherine, Randy, and Janet denied that the incident ever happened. They claimed in their answer to the suit that Gina would have never been injured if she had exercised ordinary care on her behalf, which seemed odd. In the end, Janet and Joseph negotiated an out-of-court settlement, the details of which she is not at liberty to disclose. "I felt sorry for them," she concludes. "I love that family. I know that I was the provable straw that broke the camel's back, but like I told Catherine in court, next time, kick his, not mine."